The Fahrenheit 451 has survived acid storms and the relentless pursuit of the great mind, but the ruins of the old world still have teeth. In Episode 6, The Siren's Call, the crew sails into a massive, churning graveyard of polychromatic sludge. For 14 agonizing days, the ship is forced to push through a suffocating island of microplastics and floating refuse, with the constant deafening screech of debris grinding against the steel hull like a million fingernails on a chalkboard. The grueling voyage comes to a terrifying halt at 0300 hours when a tangled ghost net the size of a bus is sucked into the starboard cooling intake, spiking the engine temperatures straight into the red. With the ship in critical danger, Sim doesn't wait for an order. He plunges straight into the murky, toxic soup with nothing but a serrated blade in his teeth. 2 full minutes pass without a single breath, breaking the surface. 1 blade, a choking engine. The clock is ticking. Will the Fahrenheit 451 cut itself free or become a permanent fixture in the plastic wasteland? Subscribe to Errors in the System to follow the journey. The system was designed to be flawless, till fate returned.
Episode 6, The Siren's Call. Day 1, The Voyage. Entering the patch was like sailing into a bruise on the face of the world. The ocean ceased to be blue. It became a churning polychromatic sludge of floating bottles, nets, buoys, and microplastics that had bound together into islands of refuse. For 10 days, the Fahrenheit 451 pushed through the floating plastic. At times, Sam, while peering down from the bridge on the rainbow of plastic, flashed images of the thousands of spools of filament used by the 3D printers on board. These printers had been creating parts necessary to keep the ship running for years. The grinding against the steel hull was a constant deafening screech, like a million fingernails on a chalkboard. The ship didn't sail, it pushed. Day 3, the clog. The alarm blared at 0300 hours. The starboard cooling intake had sucked in a massive ghost net, a tangled ball of discarded fishing gear the size of a bus. The engine temp spiked into the red. "Cut the engine!" Sam roared from the bridge. Sim didn't wait for orders. He was already on the lower deck, diving into the murky, toxic soup with a serrated blade in his teeth. Sam watched his son from the railing, holding a spotlight. Below, Sim hacked at the thin nylon ropes wrapped around the propeller shaft. The water was thick with sludge, dark and suffocating. For 2 minutes, Sim didn't surface. "He's stuck," Cynthia gasped, gripping the rail. Then it burst of bubbles. Sim broke the surface, gasping, covered in black slime, but giving a thumbs up. The net drifted away. The engines roared back to life, coughing black smoke. Day 7, the False Island. The converted cruise ship Fahrenheit 451 was 50 miles from land when it hit a trash berg, a solid block of compressed plastic bottles and styrofoam hidden beneath the surface. The impact threw the passengers from their bunks. The hull groaned. A hairline fracture appeared in the hydroponics bay. Cynthia rallied the repair crews. They spent 12 hours welding patches in knee-deep water, fighting to save the tomato plants from the salt. They worked by torchlight, singing old songs to keep the rhythm, patching the ship with the very plastic that was trying to sink them. Day 12, the silence. The drones appeared. A squadron of 5 blue drones buzzed high overhead. Sam ordered a dead drift. They cut the engines. They covered the deck lights. 500 people held their breath. The ship drifted silently, looking just like another piece of garbage in an endless sea of waste. The drones hovered, their lasers scanning the surface. Sam watched them through the binoculars, sweat stinging his eyes. If they were spotted, the drones would boil the water and cook them alive. After an eternity, the drones turned west. They had mistaken the Fahrenheit 451 for a pile of debris. "They're gone," Sam whispered. "Restart the reactor." Day 13. Lucky 13. They were 10 miles out from the coast when the ship's sensors began to scream. It started as a low vibration in the deck plates, a thrumming that rattled the coffee cups in the bridge. Then came the sound, a growing, tearing static that bled through the ship's speakers, getting louder and more intense with every nautical mile. "Sam," Sim shouted over the noise, "look at the helm." The digital compass was spinning wildly. The radar screen was a kaleidoscope of white noise. The GPS plotter flickered and died. "We're blind," Sim yelled. "The nav computer can't lock onto a signal. It's some kind of jamming field." Sam grabbed the wheel, fighting the sudden sluggishness of the rudder. "It's not jamming, Sim. It's a weapon. There's no digital defense against a frequency this dense." He looked out of the viewport. The fog was thick, but he could feel the presence of the land and the danger waiting in the water. Without sensors, they were sailing a massive ship blind into a graveyard of submerged bridges and sunken skyscrapers.
Don't miss Episode 6. The Siren's Call, Part 2. The Drowning of Liberty. In the harrowing second half of Episode 6, the Fahrenheit 451 limps northwest toward the coast at a grinding 10 knots. As Sam and Sim press deeper into the final ring of sludge, the world takes a sickening turn. The sky contorts into unnatural, geometric patterns, and the once teeming ocean falls dead silent, devoid of gulls, porpoises, or any signs of life. There's nothing left but the relentless thrum of the ship's engines. On the morning of the 14th day, the fog finally lifts to reveal the haunting ruins of the port of NYC. They drift through open, gray water past the shattered remains of the Verrazzano Narrows Bridge, its massive suspension cables hanging like severed tendons. But the true heartbreak lies just beyond. Rising from the harbor is the Statue of Liberty, swallowed waist-deep by the rising sea levels of the last 20 years. Weeping tears of rust and oxidation, her iconic torch arm violently severed by forgotten strikes, she no longer stands as a proud symbol of freedom. Instead, she remains a broken hostess, gasping for air in a dead world. Available soon on Errors in the System.